not care to fight, my friends, we are the weeds. Because we got no homes, they call us smelly refugees.
Pulp are a band and were a band from Sheffield, England. They were formed in 1978, but had little success for quite a while. They had quite a lot of initial shuffling, and the one person who stayed steady all the way through is Jarvis Cocker, who was their frontman. In the 90s, they hit the big time, though. Britpop came along, they got swept up with it. There is some doubt as to whether they actually thought of themselves as Britpop, but they had big success and had a stable lineup. During that period, they had 7 albums. Then, from 2003 to 2011, they weren't active. 2011, they had a reunion for a couple of years, but no more albums. And there is a proposed reunion for 2023, which is next year at the point when I record this. Hi, my name is Dan. So this was the 7th and most recent album from Pulp. And I have come across them before. I've known some of their hits. And I have one of their albums, but not this one. So it was my first time hearing this album. And apparently it was a deliberate attempt to do 2 things. One, to be more positive. Apparently their previous album was very dark. And also to deliberately be about countryside and nature. It was described as their pastoral album. Musically, it's quite varied. It's less of the disco kind of beaty stuff that some of the early, I say early Pulp, well, some of their hits from the earlier 90s were. Less poppy, but more kind of rocky. It's in some ways musically it reminded me of the Divine Comedy. It's quite varied, but it's all about the songs. It's definitely less heavy than some Pulp I've heard. There are a few kind of heavier guitar overdriven passages, but mostly it's quite it's quite kind of middle rock, I would say, even light. Some of it's very light, and there's some acoustic stuff in there. And there's spoken bits, which is also fairly normal for Pulp, I would think. As I said, it's all about the songwriting. Despite what I've read about it being meant to be more positive, it's still fairly dark by most people's standards, but that's Pulp for you, and Jarvis Cocker in particular. He is a very good lyricist. It's quite a lyrical album. It's one of the kind of things that you might think of as being poetry set to music in that sense. He's definitely crafted this. The one track Birds in Your Garden I found quite disturbing. It starts quite innocent, but as you listen through it becomes, or certainly the way I interpreted it was disturbing. The first track on the album, Weeds, is social commentary about immigrants. It's quite nicely done. In fact, generally, I would say it was quite nicely done. Pretty much as I'd expect for Pulp. I'm kind of got a good respect for them. Not maybe a huge fan. I do like some of their songs very much. So I was kind of mildly impressed with this. And I'd love to know what you think. So, as always, please let me know in the comments below. That's it from me for now.
I went outside garden. The sun was bright and the air was cool, and as I stood there listening, oh well, the birds in your garden